Hi, I am Misha Voin, and I'm here with my friend and co-host George Michaelopoulos, and this is Hegemonix. Come on in, we got the game on. Um, this week, well, first of all, I want to talk for a few minutes about George's book,
Oh, thank you.
for Fear of Angels, Fear of the Angels, who were the sons of God mentioned in Genesis 6, 1 to 4. Uh, George sent me a copy of it and I read it in one sitting because it was uh, captivating. I like obviously I like the subject matter, um, and his insights are very strong and agree with some other people that I like. It actually goes slightly against the grain from I think in some of the circles that my intellect travels in, the ROCOR, kind of the Russian Church Abroad. They have a tendency to, and I never have figured this out, um, be at least have a mild enthusiasm about Augustine. And Augustine had a different view than,
Mhm.
well, you mentioned, in the book about the different views. And I got past the fact of the supernatural and the idea of angels coming down
Mhm.
when I first believed in the resurrection. If a guy can get up from the dead,
Mhm.
then the angels can come down and they can do whatever God allows them to do. And
Mhm.
that's just I don't have an Occam's razor or I don't attempt to what is it called, demythologize at all.
Right, yeah.
uh, um, but I'll let you go ahead. I'm talking all about your book, and it's your book.
Well, that's okay.
So
No, no, this is not an encyclical. There's no nihil obstat. I'm not a theologian, and I could be wrong. But among the three different possibilities, of course, we assume that we believe in God, that we believe in creation, that we believe in Jesus and what the church teaches and all that. If you don't ascribe to any of that, then this is all just fluff, you know. Um, but for those of us who are believers, you know, we believe in God, we believe in angels, we believe in the virgin birth, we believe that a dead man who was crucified as a common criminal arose from the dead, and that he ascended to the right hand of the Father. I believe all that, you know, and if if a man could be conceived virginally, I don't see why angels can't take on bodies and cavort with human females. Um, it's uncomfortable, but so's everything else we believe in. So,
yeah,
and by the way, I liked your insights, and I printed it out somewhere because I'm going to use them if I do a second edition because they were really powerful. So,
thank you.
it's it the plain text, what I call the plain text hypothesis, exactly what it says, Genesis 6, 1 to 4, makes the most sense of all. Now, I know that eh, I've seen I think it was Father Seraphim Rose who disputed that, and he talked about the sons of God being the sons of Seth. But again, that just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, um, if these were righteous men and the line of Cain were a bunch of these semi-retarded troglodytes, I just don't see how the women were beautiful. You it's
Mhm, mhm.
the way mechanics of sex work. I mean, a man has to be attracted to a woman to desire her and to copulate with her. And
Right.
so that's just
Another thing
well,
that we
and
should
also the line of Cain,
take into
we see
account about
them
this.
coming up with metallurgy. coming up with astronomy, coming up with tent making, coming up with,
Yeah,
in other words, agronomy and civilization. Cain built the first city. You know, well, it didn't seem like these guys were uh, socially retarded or cavemen. It seems like they were pretty advanced. Now, that doesn't mean that they were good. No, they clearly were not good. But, you know, so there you go. I mean,
yeah,
that's it in a nutshell.
yeah. They
Yeah.
well, Stephen DeYoung, I think Father Stephen DeYoung is in your camp on this, and I am too on
Hmm.
this. It's just I think what I was starting to say was um, Seraphim, Father Seraphim Rose. He lived at a certain time and place, and the time and place he lived in was pretty much what I would call, and this is no reflection, bad reflection on him, but in the American culture was the really the height of the age of apostasy.
Hmm.
The American culture in the late '60s, early '70s, through the '70s was as secular as it's hopefully it's ever going to get.
Yeah.
And people, whenever they talked about God back then, did it tongue in cheek a lot. If you look at, you've seen the movie The Exorcist,
Oh, yeah.
where the lady says, I got a problem. I think my daughter's possessed, and go to the priest, and he's been trained in everything except
Hmm.
exorcism and the faith once delivered. He's
He's a
he's
Jesuit.
a
He's an MD,
yeah,
psychiatrist.
he's a psychiatrist.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's a social worker
Hmm.
basically, and he doesn't know what to do with that. And that's the way it was. I mean, you probably know better than I do because I was little, at that time.
Hmm.
But people were very secular,
Yeah, very.
and they would choose any explanation other than the obvious.
Hmm.
The angel came down and he did what he did.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah, right.
um, so that's
That's
I
that's a good
kind of
insight,
think that
Misha, and thanks to COVID, thanks
Mhm.
to the sheer evilness that's been exposed of our establishment. You know, the fact that they could do, I don't want to get political, but the fact that they could do a Russia hoax, spend $35 million to tarnish a man, the same man
Mhm.
that in the 90s and in the early aughts they were eating out of his hand.
Mhm.
And, you know, I'm sorry, there's just something demonic going on. I mean,
Yeah,
I know people who are smart, secular, professional, and yet if you just say his name, they immediately do a Linda Blair and their heads spin. I mean, it's like,
yeah,
it's like, yeah, I I'm okay with Obama. Okay, I mean, I didn't vote for him. I think he was a terrible president, but I'm not going to go around, just immediately frothing at the mouth, acting like a rabid dog. And,
yeah,
so basically what I'm trying to say is that there's a spiritual element, Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and in high places. And, it is just obvious now, and the Overton window has been pushed so far to the spiritual right as well as the political right that now people are just openly talking about, the evil that is in the world. And again, I
yeah.
don't want to hold Trump up as this paragon. Okay. That's not what's going on here. Um, it, the hatred of him is because they hate us. Okay.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
just the
In
avatar.
a way. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So, so,
Which brings
mhm,
us to the subject of our the main subject. I'm sure
yeah.
George Soros. I'm just going to throw it out there
Yeah.
because his, I guess, it's probably a like a senior management associate or whatever of him, Leonard Bernardo.
Uh-huh.
There was a email. This is what Cash Patel was referring to. If any of you, the readers or the people who viewers here have seen interviews with Cash Patel, where he's talking about finding tranches of burn bags in different
Yes.
rooms inside the FBI headquarters. Well, this came out of the stuff that they thought was gone forever, but nothing's ever gone forever.
Yeah.
um, and it came out that this guy Bernardo, it's not Bernardo, it's Bernardo,
Mhm.
was emailing Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who was high up in the Clinton
Mhm.
food chain, about the fact that the Russian hoax was put out there for the express purpose of getting uh, Clinton out of the email scandal that she found herself in.
Yes.
It's like trying to drive it, throw something big out there that drives this other thing into remission. And that seems to be um, what the, and I think Matt Taibbi has
Mhm.
kind of said that as well about the Russiagate thing. Now, I'm not sure it goes as far enough because it really was, to me, a coup d'etat. They really did they attempted one in 2016 and they succeeded in one in 2020.
Yes, they did.
And the rest of that's going to come out,
Mhm.
uh, hopefully. But that's where we are. We got, and the reason that I wanted to do one on Soros is he connects all this stuff that's happening here in the United States with the stuff that's happening internationally.
Yes.
He's banned in his home country of Hungary
Mhm.
and in several other nations.
Mhm.
And his whole raison d'etre is open
Yeah.
societies, and that has been married with the green stuff, the climate
Mhm.
stuff, and that he thinks gives him a license to roll over public will and
Mhm.
the electoral will of people. And so it's become very dangerous, both here and abroad. But he's kind of the godfather of globalism and liberalism at this point. He pours lots of money, lots of money. He's the one of the biggest donors to the DNC and HRC
And
to
now,
Clinton.
and now we know he donates not his money, but USAID money, don't we? That
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
one of the things that Elon Musk found out with Doge, which is why I'm going to, there's problems with Elon. I get it, spiritual problems, but it's because of him buying Twitter that we know so much now. And he just it's one thing to reach in your own pocket, pull out your wallet, and give money, and it's another thing to take it from a third party, in this case, the federal government, and 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 give it. I mean, that's just unconscionable. I'm sorry. It's just I mean, when Jesus says, "Give all
Yeah.
you have to the poor," sell what you have and give to the poor, he didn't say, "Take it from Dimitri over there and give to the poor." He said, "No, you give
Right.
to the poor." And and we know from the gospel that the disciples had a pot, a treasury, and they actually gave to the poor from their own resources at times. So this is just to me it's wicked, and
Yeah,
it
it's
just
stealing from us in order to put us down.
you know
It's, there's a saying, and it's not that bad. I don't think I have to clean it up, but don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining.
yeah, yeah,
And that's kind of what it feels like.
yeah. No, no, no,
Sort
I
of.
agree. I agree. Yeah.
And so we have him, atop, and he's got a son named Alex
Mhm.
who seems to be taking over the
Mhm.
thing. And lo and behold, this year they got married, and who is his wife? Well, Huma Abedin,
Yeah.
who was high-ranking Hillary Clinton acolyte,
Yep.
like a chief of staff or something for her.
Yeah.
Um,
From what I understand
and
about
her
Huma,
ex-husband.
from what I understand about Huma, her parents are pretty high up in the Muslim Brotherhood.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
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 I knew she was a Muslim, and I don't know that they necessarily advertise well. In Islam, it's impermissible for a Muslim female to marry a well, either Christian male or a Jewish
Oh,
male or
yeah. I
whatever,
I can't get I
is.
can't wrap my head around that. I just can't. I mean, it's like, no, you don't do that. And it's just it doesn't matter
Yeah,
what school or sect of Islam you follow, that just doesn't happen. So
yeah.
I'm thinking,
They're just high enough of the food chain that they don't have to worry about it, I
yeah, I guess
guess.
so. Like,
Don't go out in crowds in
yeah,
Pakistan.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah. And now George Soros is an atheist. From what I understand, his son belongs to some weird Kab- Kabbalistic cult.
mm,
So he's not an atheist. But that doesn't make him any better, especially
yeah,
if it's one of
yeah.
these are very Luciferian cults. There's a, I'll
That's
leave
what
it
I
at
was
that.
about to say at the beginning, this discussion we're having. I started to look into Soros and look and look, and the harder you look, the deeper it gets.
Hmm.
It just keeps going and going and going because you got um, Anthony Weiner, her Huma Abedin's
Yeah.
ex-husband, and all the crap that happened with him.
Hmm.
Um, and then you've got the international stuff with the non-governmental organizations.
Yeah.
Um, it's all just one big. You want to call it a conspiracy, and it is a
It
conspiracy
is.
to a certain
It
extent.
is.
It really is.
Hmm.
It's an ideological conspiracy of elite. Um, um, what would you call them? They're liberal ideologues, and they're very cosmopolitan,
Yeah.
and they want to rule the world, and they want to destroy everything that stands in
Yeah.
their way.
And there
Basically.
is a spiritual element involved.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember, but in 2016, they found during the Pizzagate thing,
Yeah.
but they this Martina Abramovich, uh,
Hmm.
who did what was called so-called spirit cooking. I mean, it is a travesty. It is an
I
inversion
remember
of
that.
the Eucharist.
Yeah.
Okay, and they
Yeah.
use
She was a Satanist. Yeah. Yeah.
semen
Yeah.
and human milk, and you know the the word on the street is there's child sacrifice involved. Um, I didn't want to believe it at first, but I could definitely see it. I mean, uh, envision that there's just this evilness and they draw power from it. There is spiritual power that's involved. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. I think Dan Bongino a few days ago
Mhm.
sent out a tweet that was like he was truly appalled and shocked by
Mhm.
the things that they were finding out. So I think we will be too.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's the way it's going. And so all this stuff seems like it's coming out,
Mhm.
and it all connects with the war in
Yeah.
Ukraine, the struggle in the Middle East,
Mhm.
and even the war, the thing that they're talking about having a war with China, which hopefully they're going to talk themselves out of. Um, all that stuff is an attempt to expand to extend this evil empire of lies.
Hmm.
Uh, I used to tell people that the focus of evil in the modern world, when the Soviet Union collapsed, transferred right over to Foggy Bottom and DC,
Yeah.
and that um, it was the whole apparatus was in a sense defensible up to that
Yeah.
point, but the people are really nasty. They have been very nasty for a long time,
Hmm.
and once they had open field, they just
Yeah.
they decided to start running, and they're trying to take over as much as they can. You got people on the other side, like we said in the first or one of the earlier episodes. The Muslims were really the first people to push back on it
Yeah.
because they realized that they're trying to kill their religion
Hmm.
as best they could, because their idea of religion is very different than a believer's idea of religion. Their idea of religion is, I happen to have been born into the Episcopal Church, and it has all its old um, doctrines that nobody believes in anymore.
Right.
And that's our team.
Hmm.
But really, what we do is we gut out everything that has to do with the old theology, the old ecclesiology, the old morality, everything, and fill it up with liberalism,
Yeah.
with progressivism, whatever you want to call it. And they started to try to do this with Islam, and Islam reacted
Yeah. Yeah. They did. Yeah.
vigorously. And now the rest of the world seems to be, even the Chinese, who you would think would be more inclined because they're secular
Hmm.
and well, they have been secular in the past. They're getting more and more Confucian.
Right.
Um, and I think it may be because they realize that they need something spiritual, or
Hmm.
this demon's going to overtake them too. Um, because their system was more socialistic, that they would have more in common with these people that have taken over the West. And finally, they turned around and they're like, "No, they're going to eat us." The 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 thing that happened before was, in the West, we thought, well, we're going to let them build up as much as they can because we think that they'll become more democratic,
Right.
which means that their business people will take over um,
Hmm.
the country, and we'll be able to intermesh with our business people, and then we'll have the globalist thing go on. But they didn't look at it like that. They always want somebody at the top to control their business people,
Hmm.
which is wise. I've got a quote here from Nayib Bukele, who is president of El
Yeah.
Salvador, and he is just they got rid of the law that says that he can't succeed himself and that there's any impediment to being president for life. Um, and I'm not sure that he had anything necessary. Well, it probably did have something to do with it,
Yeah.
but he's so popular down there and has done such a good job that doesn't surprise me. He said, "Power is either vested in kings or it inevitably ends up with merchants." And
Well,
I think there's some truth to that.
that is interesting. There's a lot of truth to that. You know.
Um, and one way or the other, I think he's not far from the truth on
Hmm.
that. I wouldn't put it as an axiom, but still. Um, and they so I mean that's where we are. We're kind of in this caught in this war between people who want to lay out this the LGBT plus
Hmm.
and it's more like fascism as far as the economic model they have. And now the main thing I think that's probably going to sink them more than anything else is their when they turned on freedom of speech.
Yes.
when they're silencing people. The British don't like that.
Right.
We didn't like it here
Yeah. Yeah. That's
during COVID.
yeah. That's
Um,
that. Yeah. Well, they they also made a mistake during COVID. Because whether it was the real thing or a pandemic or a beta test for something further down the pike, people realized, um, parents, soccer moms realized what the hell their kids are being taught in school. Okay. And believers, whether they were observant Jews, Catholics, Orthodox, Protestants, Mormons, whatever, said, when they were told you can't go to church, they said, "What? Wait. Where'd this come from?" You know? And when our leaders, our religious leaders went along with it, then they lost a lot of credibility. And so that was a mistake. And then when George Floyd got killed, but then they said, you can't walk your dog in the park, but it's okay for Antifa and BLM to just riot and throw stones and destroy property. It was like, wait, I thought this was a deadly disease. And
mhm.
and 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 we can't go outside and walk our dog or go fishing or march in a parade. So the nihilism that is at the base of secularism and liberalism just started eating itself, you know.
Yes.
And it's like, I see. And now after, the Hamas raid on Israel, it's like, wait, we can't question that. We can't have a students in colleges can't protest. Why not? You know.
Mm.
So it's all coming crashing down. The
Yeah.
entire Western liberal enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, paradigm, and it's so the what I'm trying to say is they've made mistakes.
Yes. Mistakes have been made.
That
Yes.
doesn't mean that they're not going to win. I don't think they will,
I
but
don't either.
but it's going to be a bloody mess.
Oh yeah. It has all the earmarks of people who have lost it,
Yeah,
both in terms of their grip on sanity, but also in terms of their ability to control the edifice that they themselves
yeah,
have created. And they're just so inept at it that, like, for example, just to throw it out there, those burn bags.
yeah.
Why do they trust other people who aren't in on the conspiracy to dispose of things that are evidence of the conspiracy?
Good question.
Um,
Is it
there are too
sloppiness?
many.
Is it
They're
sloppiness?
they're sloppy and they're arrogant.
Mhm.
That's really the thing that's gonna hubris and what is it the in Greek?
Well, hubris is a Greek word.
Yeah, hubris, and but the other thing is that hubris comes, and then what's the
Oh,
other thing
pride
that
goeth
comes
before a
in?
fall.
Yeah, pride
Yeah.
goes before, but there's another.
There's also something else. Let's say you're kind of mid-level FBI, not necessarily ideological, but you just go to work every day and they tell you put it in the burn bag. You know what? Maybe I would want to hold on to that burn bag or at least make a copy of what's in it just just to protect myself. In other
Mhm.
words, or just to have some kind of leverage, you know.
Yeah,
There's that too. I don't know.
you can tell they're screwed just because of how much we know about what they've
Yeah.
done. uh, from the trail that they've left.
Hmm.
Um, and I just it doesn't look good
No, it doesn't look good at
at
all.
all for them.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it results in a religious revival
Yeah.
of some kind. I don't mean like you know the the things uh, that the liberals put on TV about religious revival and the
No.
what is it? They got the women with the hats and all that stuff and
Oh, the Handmaid Tale.
Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
Yeah, not all that stuff, but a real sincere return to um, some form of tradition as a measuring
Yeah.
rod instead of just whatever we come up with today this
Right.
morning
Right.
in Manhattan,
Yeah.
and that we think we can impose on the rest of the country.
Right.
Because if you have a stable thing that everybody knows about and it lasts for a long time, people accept it and they learn to live by it,
Right.
with it, and everything.
Yeah.
And you can make your money, but you just can't be God. You have to let God be
Yeah.
God. And that's the harsh lesson I think that God is going to teach them
Right.
um, in this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm Orthodox, cradle Orthodox. You're Orthodox too, and I guess I'm 10 years older than you. And in my ideal society, there'd be a patriarch of America, and he'd place the crown on Emperor Leo the Third. You know,
Yeah.
and we'd have a holy synod adjacent to the Senate. But I'd be happy with just living in Protestant America circa 1959 when I was born, and when things were normal and we
Mm-hmm.
didn't have naked men riding bicycles in the middle of the street. I'd be
Yeah,
happy with that.
yeah, yeah.
Content.
So would I.
I'd even be content with America being a Catholic country. Uh, but that a Protestant revival is not going to happen because ultimately Protestantism has been exposed for what it is. It refutes itself.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's
So
a lot of work for the church to do
we've
here in
we've got our
the
work
United
cut
States.
out for us as Orthodox Christians.
Yeah. Um,
What makes it what makes me somewhat positive is that the Fortumite influence is has not worked, and
yeah.
orthodoxy will not succumb to liberalism. I know there are liberal bishops out there. I get that.
Mm.
And I know Archbishop Elpidophoros of the GOA is, you know, an asset, a Turkish asset, and he is a
Yeah.
liberal. Uh, I also know that whatever he touches turns to cringe. So I'm not worried about orthodoxy in America. Okay.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm not either, and I recognize the problem. I think we're going to do in a week or two, a show. I think with our good friend Jim Jetris
yes,
on delve into that.
yes, hopefully, yes,
Um,
absolutely.
I agree with you that I don't think that the liberal wing or whatever you want to call it that's in the church in America has the power to change anything that has to do with doctrine
Mhm.
um, for the whole church. I mean, they can do little things here and there, but half, if not more, of Orthodox live in Russia,
Mhm.
and it's not um, liberal. I mean, it's a mix, it's a hybrid of tradition and liberalism, but the arrow is swinging towards tradition.
Yeah. Well,
um,
also,
and Greece is the same way, I
oh yeah,
think, as far as the people are concerned.
oh yeah.
I think it's the same way there.
No, no, you know, but even in the secular sphere, I I'm seeing the whole Skittles agenda just kind of like going away. Um, the last 3 or 4 years, every June I'd go wherever to the grocery store or whatever, and it's all pride this, pride that. Hate has no place here. The gay flags everywhere, and all the clerks are wearing uh, gay stickers and and everything. And this just last month, no, there was none of that. In other words, I
Hmm.
think it's kind of like petered out. And I c- I can't say where you're at, but it just the well the trans movement, and this is where nihilism comes in, because you got LG and then BT, and the LG, that part says, well, God can't make a mistake. I was born this way. But then you have the trannies, and now they're at the top. They're saying, no, no, God did make a mistake. I'm really a woman. Yeah, I've got a penis, I get it, but really I'm a woman. So we've got to reorder society to allow me to go in a woman's locker room
Yeah.
because I'm really a woman. God, God did make the mistake. So basically, I'm seeing a fracture of the whole Skittles agenda. And so it's like it's yesterday's news. It's not that big of a deal anymore.
I think there's only so long that human beings can hold a deeply erroneous thought
Yeah,
without something turning.
yeah,
Um, People said it's 3 generations
yeah,
sometimes, and that's what people talk about the Soviet Union and also the New Deal to some extent. That
right.
that's how long it lasted, and then it's
Yeah,
turned into something else. But I don't think this thing with the training stuff is going to last anywhere near
yeah,
that long. It's got a very short lifespan because you know there are just too many normal people that won't have anything to do with it,
yeah,
and we can see a
uh,
time when we're going to look back on this and
yeah,
think, what was in the water? Did somebody put something in the water?
yeah,
Or were there some uh,
yeah,
rays that were being
yeah,
broadcast across the country that made everybody crazy as a
right,
crack house rat?
right.
Um, it's and you can see it, but some people they just they have no sense of traditional discipline and morality.
Mhm.
What they want to do is create their own that has no cost, but they can be just as self-righteous and condemn other people.
Yeah,
And we always have to stop ourselves, from going too far down the road of condemning people.